Hello, 8th graders. Today we are going to not learn Pythagorean theorem, but we're going to try to use it. How would you use Pythagorean theorem in real life? Okay, because I know y'all are going to want to go out and use Pythagorean theorem as soon as you learn it. Now you know how to go out and use it in real life. So excited. First off, before we start on our examples, can we all just admire my amazing artwork? Okay, so obviously I have the most perfect right triangle you've ever seen in your life. I have this beautiful pirate ship right here. You see that? And look at this amazing lighthouse. I should have Miss Anderson's job. It's a known fact. But I prefer to teach math. All right, so this is a way you may use Pythagorean theorem in real life. Some of you kids, take your boats out. How far is the ship, or you could say boat, how far is the boat from the lighthouse? Well, here's our ship, here's the lighthouse. So obviously it's going to go in the straight line right here because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. All right, so this is a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem only works on right triangles. All right, so we know that the formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so we'll say this is a 6 squared, and you always know that the hypotenuse is c. Okay, 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 6 squared is 36, 8 squared is 64, and 36 plus 64 is 100. Okay, so to figure out 100 in, it's in squared form, so we got to do the square root. We got to do the opposite. And the square root of 100 is 10. Okay, so C equals 10. So it is 10 miles. Okay, 10 miles from the ship to the lighthouse. Okay, All right, so in this example, we're going to figure out, we want to know how high is the ramp, how tall is this ramp? And here is this really skinny version of myself. I know I do a really good drawing of people and ramps. But we want to know how high would I have to go on my little ladder to get to the top? How high do I have to go? All right, so here I am. All right, so we know that if the slant, the hypotenuse is 21 feet, and that the length is 9 feet. So we're going to say this is A right here. Okay, so we have a squared, we don't know what that is, plus b squared. This is b. Now remember, the hypotenuse, the long slant end is always going to be c. Okay, so we have a squared. Miss Holmes, they'll love this. A squared plus 19 squared equals 21 squared. Okay, so use your calculators. We're going to pause right now, and you're going to use your calculators, and you're going to solve this and see if you can get the right answer. It doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong. Just try. We'll be back. Okay, so hopefully you've done the problem. Let's look at this. All right, so if I'm going to use calculator. I'm actually using a little girl who has never shown up to school. Okay, so we know that this is going to be a squared, and we're solving for a squared. All right, so we have 19, and I'm squaring it. So that's 361, and 21 squared is 441, all right? So now my goal is to isolate the A. I want to get A by itself so I can figure out what it equals. All right, so I'm going to subtract 361 over here because I'm adding it. It's positive, so I want to get rid of it. And what I do to the left side, I got to do to the right side. And we come up with A squared is equal to 80. All right, now, I've got to find the square root of 80 to figure out how tall this is, all right? So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to write second square root, and I'm going to put in 80, and I get A is equal to 8.9442791. Surely you got that. All right, so we're just going to round to the nearest tenth, which is 8.9. So A equals 8.9 feet. Okay, so this height right here is 8.9. Okay, hopefully you got that right. You can use your calculator. Obviously, you have one. All right. Hey guys, so last example. So I want you to try to do this on your own. So when I get done reading it, just pause it, try to do it on your own, see if you get it correct. All right, so how wide is the pond? Okay, so here's your pond. Now just think about, this is how you can figure out how wide it is. If you go out like this, you go out here and then do the hypotenuse over here, you can figure out how wide the pond is, okay? So 90 feet and then 121. So this is going to be, we're going to say this is A again right here. This the width of the pond. We're going to say that's A, okay? So we're solving for A. So I want y'all to pause right now and try to do this, okay? So pause. Don't you cheat. You better pause it. You better try to do this. All right, back at it. A squared. And this is my hypotenuse, so this is going to be C. This is 95 feet squared equals 120 feet squared. All right, so obviously I'm using my handy dandy calculator. Okay, 95 squared is 9,025. And then 120 squared is 14,400. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 9,025 over here because I'm trying to isolate the A. So I'm going to subtract it over here. So minus 14,400 minus 9,025, and A squared equals 5,375, and I've got to square root that. 5,375. This is another decimal number. So the pond is going to be 73. We're going to go one decimal place. 73.31. So that's going to round. Can y'all see that? So okay. That's going to round to, it's about 73.3 feet wide. All right, guys, so if you're not getting these, you really need to raise your hand and ask me a question. I will tell you this. On your STAR test, there are 3 teaks that are associated with the Pythagorean theorem. There's 3 teaks. There's one that is a major one. You can expect to have 3 questions on Pythagorean theorem on your STAR test. So make sure that you understand how to do this, okay?